Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world.
Absolutely.
Hello, Junix.
Good morning. TGI is Friday, right? Did I get it?
It's
TGIF.
Friday.
Good morning. How are you this morning? We missed you. Ayo, looking
I missed you guys.
Ayomide.
My Ayom is mine. Don't steal it.
No, that's how you call her. Just remind
I
me.
saw we have an Ayomide actually as a producer here, and I told.
okay.
I'm the original Ayomide.
Yeah, you. Good morning, Rufi on fire. How are you this morning? Happy Friday, TGIF. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. A Nigerian businessman, Dr. Eke Agbai, has dragged First Bank of Nigeria before an Abia State High Court over what he described as premeditated fraud of over 550 million naira from his fixed deposit account with the bank. Well, according to his lawyers, First Bank has refused to return the deposit made by their client. This cumulative deposit amounting to 550 million naira was initiated by their client following the threat of withdrawal of the branch from Abiriba in furtherance to his desire to sustain the development of the community, which he is a leader. Well, the businessman's lawyer said trouble started in December 2023 when their client noticed that he could not gain access to his personal account through his bank app and could not reach his business development manager. He then approached the Gwarinpa branch of First Bank in Abuja, where he was told that 55 million naira had been removed in 6 consecutive transactions, whereas he was in Umuahia when the unauthorized deductions were made.
His petitions and requests for investigation into that tampering of his funds, nothing was done about it. And this is a bank where he had several deposits. So he now asks for his deposits in case such fraudulent practices fixed deposits. In case such fraudulent practices had also extended to them, that he didn't want anything to do with them again, because they had not shown good faith in the management of the funds, and they refused to release the funds, telling one story and another, asking for time, saying they wanted to investigate. In the course of their investigation, they sacked about 9 of their staff. Issues began to come up. The deposit advices for the fixed deposits issued by First Bank, they said they were not, they could not trace it in their system, so he should go away. He wrote to the bank's MD, he wrote to CBN, and each of them were saying, we are investigating, we are looking into it, we are investigating. So he had to bring the matter to court. The total deposit of 550 million is not such funds that one would fold his hands and allow it to go to waste. So that is the dispute that is now before the court.
What date are you giving now?
Now the court has adjourned to 26th of March and the 2nd of April for hearing to commence.
A certificate of fixed deposit issued to me, 250 million and 300 million respectively, for over 10 years. From 2014, I left that because I did not want First Bank to be removed from my hometown. Then over time, as the Lord will have it, upon arrival into Nigeria, from the airport, I went straight to Abuja to pick some funds. 55 million in a savings account had disappeared. And that was what triggered this. They said I had just made a withdrawal at Umuahia, but OjyOkpe. I said it could not have been possible. They triggered an investigation, and it happened that indeed, bank officials had withdrawn 55 million in 6 installments of 10 million and 5 million respectively, of which they accepted. They accepted responsibility, and it took about 1 week for the funds to be returned to me. It was then I became very afraid, as anybody would. Then I wrote to say I wanted to terminate my fixed deposit, only to tell me that my money was nowhere to be found. Stories. I mean, can you imagine that? And in the course of that, I've found out that First Bank has involved themselves in a lot of criminal activities of their staff. And they want to shy away responsibility, as if their staff was different from them as an institution. Fixed means that the money is locked. Nobody should have access to it. And to the extent that the bank was unaware of their staff removing funds of individuals and using them for whatever purpose, that shows that there is a problem with supervision of the bank. And then to find out that it even happened at the highest level shows that something is fundamentally wrong with this bank. The bank has become a crime scene. There's need for investigation.
All right, we had our reporter there, and they did try to speak with, the lawyers of First Bank at the venue, and I believe they declined to speak. I mean, of course, this matter is sub judice. I mean, it's in the court at this point. It started back in 2023, like he said, I believe during the time of the former chairman, Oba Otudeko. And like he has narrated, he's obviously very hurt. And I know that this is an incident that will hurt any individual at this moment, Ayo.
Absolutely. I recall, and I'm glad you mentioned the year 2023. I remember that at that time, online banking in Nigeria was faced with a lot of challenges. People reported how they would make transactions and it would not reflect. Some people reflected how they would open their bank app and they wouldn't see any amount of money. It's not the first time we've heard stories like this, and it's not peculiar to any particular bank. There are banks in Nigeria that have received complaints, but I think in terms of response, what I know, at least from looking at the story that has come forth, is that they have instituted an internal investigation in First Bank, and a few people have been held culpable and dismissed as a result of that. I can understand the man's being aggrieved at this. If you lose 20,000 naira, 10,000 naira, you know how it is, especially if you worked hard for your money. How much more in millions? That's a big deal. So I think beyond this, it should also be a wake-up call to the banking industry for regulations to ensure that customers' deposits are protected. But I think it's a good move that they've investigated, and I hope that they've returned, if they haven't, the amount of money that is said to be missing.
Well, yeah, absolutely. The man there, he said that the money was returned, but it was when he wanted to withdraw his money that trouble started. So, it's still under investigation, and hopefully we will follow up on the story if there's any new development, really. Well, all right, now we'll take another story. The senator representing Edo South, Naira Imasuen, who is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition, has denied reports that the road leading to his home in Edo State, as reported in a viral video by a content creator, Mr. Wi-Fi, is bad. Well, we sent our correspondent, Christy Macaulay, to assess the area. Well, Macaulay started her journey from Barrister Naira Imasuen Street in Amagba, GRA, where the senator's house is located, and found the street in motorable condition. Macaulay also accessed Ogofota Street in the same Amagba GRA, which is the street leading to the senator's house. And as reported by Mr. Wi-Fi, the street is indeed in bad shape. Let's take a look.
This is Ogofota Street in Amagba GRA, leading to Senator Naira Imasuen's house.
Yeah, but I see senator representing Edo South. In case you officer they lie, see, now he drop all these lights for year. See lights will drop. See, senator, road to senator house. Senator representing Edo South. See, senator representing Edo South. Road to a house, like road be this one. A road like be this one. My people, like I say back on show now. We not get leaders for this country. We not get leaders. But you they active for House of Assembly. You they active for Senate. You they submit petition. They say may they suspend Natasha. After I come and be. I come and be. We feel say maybe they talk for House of Assembly or for Senate House. We not know say you they talk where. Oga, your road to your house is not good. You call yourself a senator, a city senator, Senator Naira Imasuen, fix the road to your house, fix your environment.
All right, the man says, fix your environment. And again, in his video, he said the street leading to Senator Imasuen Street. And so I had to send the reporter. I said, go and find this exact location. Make sure that it is actually, if it is indeed not true, please report accurately. And the reporter went out there and saw the same street where, you know, Mr. Wi-Fi was, and he said it was about 7 houses from the Senator Neda street. I guess Senator Neda doesn't know that street. Ogofota Street. I mean, just that's actually where the street is. But you know, just for the senator, he had sent a response to Arise News when we took the story, saying that obviously that he's disappointed that you know, we took for truth what was clearly false. I reached out to him saying that we're happy to give him a right of reply, but I didn't get a response. Even our senior booker also reached out to him. He didn't get a response. But in fairness to him, he said that he has built other roads in his area. I hope I can pronounce these, if you can help me. In Orimwon local government area. That's what he said, that he's built some street in OjyOkpe Street in Abia Southwest. Yes, he's done that as well.
In Abuja.
In Abuja. Those are the two streets that he's done.
The question we should ask is, why is that street so dirty? Even if you say, okay, you want to see cow, melu. Even if you say, okay, you want to do other street before you do yours.
Right.
Hope they also know that at least you need to clean the sanitary conditions there. Look at the refuse dump. Does that street look like a street that a service senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Is that even a vicinity? Look at the dead. See. Disease. Look at melu everywhere. So it shows that there's a big problem about our hygiene. Also speaking about the internet, I hope you know that there's a story that is breaking exclusively on the Premium Times, where they are saying that some members, I talked about that before, they said that some members said they didn't know how their signature got up there in the list. You know, I said the scandal was going to break because I had intel. Sources had been talking. Now, Premium Time has broken that story. So what we are just saying is, Senator Neda, please, clean the streets. Even if you can't do the road first, they should evacuate that refuse dump from there. Is it that they don't have something to carry refuse away from there? And what are those cows doing on that street?
Okay, one question.
What's your question?
Is the repair of roads, either on individual streets or within the municipality or the state, the basic function of a lawmaker?
Well, it's not.
Is it not an executive function?
Well, you're absolutely right on that.
So I think we should moderate our criticism when we say, Senator Emerson has a responsibility to repair the road leading to his house. No. What the man has said, even with constituency allowances, it's not the individual senator that is supposed to go and repair a particular road. Okay. That's an executive function. The function of the legislature is properly spelled out under Section 4 of the Constitution, which is to make laws for good governance, order, and stability of Nigeria. Anything outside that, you know, is an aberration. Okay. It doesn't mean that it's the primary responsibility of a lawmaker to go about digging boreholes and repairing roads and constructing,
with due respect, in
taking over executive functions.
It's also an aberration
that
lawmakers should be pushing for constituency projects. In case you don't know, let me tell you this. Do you know that after their statutory transfer of 344 billion in this budget, these lawmakers snuck in another 170 billion for constituency projects, and they're going to be taking over 500 billion. And that's why they're holding them accountable. So, and also in reaction to your analogy, Dr. Abati, this lawmaker confirmed that he does roads around other areas. Have you know so?
That's what he said.
He's not the one, he wrote it himself. So he has confirmed that he does roads.
Well, I've raised the question that
he's here to write it. So what we should say is that they should stop doing the constituency projects.
Constituency allowances. I don't need education on basic legal issues and principles of how the Nigerian government is run. But I've raised that question. It's a poser. And I think intelligently, we should evaluate that.
I mean, you're not the only one raising that question, Dr. Abati. I mean, people have said that he's not responsible for building roads. But like Rufai has said, he did confirm that he has built roads, which is what Mr. Wi-Fi was trying to say. That you are in this area. Oga, please fix the roads. Simple. I mean, I'm from Umuahia. I am from Umuahia, and I promise you, the road leading to my hometown, I try my best to make sure that it is fixed, and I'm not joking. I raise funds to make sure that in the capacity as chief of Umuahia Kingdom. Well, all right, quickly.
I think it's important to separate what would be morally good or as a result of his influence and position to do, and whose responsibility it is. Let's not take away the local government, the state government as well, because they also have, but he has influence. And so one of the reasons why we have people who are closer to the people in government who are closer to the people in terms of House of Reps members, senators, and local government chairmen, so that they can meet the immediate needs of their constituents. So if road is the problem, then lobby your government to ensure that the roads are fixed.
With due respect, they should also withdraw that draconian thieving constituency project. Ayo, I am really very upset about this matter. Do you know why? And I'll tell you this, Dr. Abati. Yes, you made a very good point that we should debate on. But the truth is, do you know these people take billions of naira in these projects? And they don't have anything to show for it. And we keep indulging them.
Well, that is true. It does not make it right.
It doesn't make it right. So they should withdraw that constituency project. That's what we are saying in the first place.
Well, we have highlighted this story. Ogofota Street in GRA, Amagbo GRA. You should know because you are from Benin City. For Senator Naira Imasue to take a good look at. We'll take another story now. Senate President Akpabio has criticized the lawmaker representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, for raising sexual harassment allegations against him at the United Nations Inter-Parliamentary Conference. While speaking during a plenary session on Thursday, Akpabio accused Akpoti-Uduaghan of attempting to embarrass Nigeria. Let's take a look.
Whatever decision we arrive at here is unanimous. And I recall the last decision we took, and which concerned one of our sisters here, the senior Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. I'm also aware that when she left the chambers, she went to Premeditated Radio, and she went to Arise Television, and she distorted the facts. I'm aware further that she has now externalized the matter by attempting to embarrass the Federal Republic of Nigeria by going to give a narrative at the IPU UN event, totally different from what occurred in the Senate.
All right, Senate President has spoken. In the meantime, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has filed a contempt case against Senate President Akpabio over her recent suspension from the upper legislative chamber. In the suit, Senator Natasha named Akpabio, Naira Imasue, and the clerk of the National Assembly as respondents, accusing them of deliberately disregarding a March 4th ruling by the Federal High Court in Abuja, which restrained the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions from conducting disciplinary proceedings against her. The disciplinary action stemmed from the incident on February 20th, where Natasha was seen to have disrupted plenary by rejecting her assigned seat. In a notice of disobedience of a court order attached to Natasha's lawsuit and signed by the court registrar, the respondents, including Akpabio, were warned that their actions could result in their committal to prison for contempt of court. I mean, this story is absolutely trending, especially that last part I read. Akpabio is going to go to jail. Really, I mean, obviously, I guess it's attached to most of these sort of cases, right? Dr. Abati, a quick comment and then we'll find.
Contempt. It can be either contempt in the face of the court or contempt away from the face of the court, as Fashikuria. What it means is that, people are supposed to respect the rulings of the court and to conduct themselves as lawful persons who respect the rule of law. In this particular case, the allegation, which was an issue that the lawyers to Mrs. Uduaghan brought up, the last time Justice Eguatu's court looked at the matter, was that the notice, the ex parte injunction was properly served, and that, the committee led by Senator Naira Imasue still went ahead to look into the matter and inflict all those conditions and punishments that they did, which was contrary, they pleaded to the order of the court. Now, the judge, confirmed that the order was served. I thought I saw that line in the report.
Yes.
You know, so, but when I saw that, I said, okay, this has been established by the presiding judge himself. Now, it is, I guess, on the basis of that, Mrs. Udwa is now saying is filing contempt application. However, contempt is not that easy, you know, to just impose in this particular case, particularly when the substantive issue itself has not even been heard. This was a motion ex parte. Now, and whether a contempt application, the order will be given or not, is at the discretion, in any case, of the presiding judge. The next issue is about the Senate itself. Will Justice Iguatu commit to prison the Senate President, the clerk of the Senate, and also the chairman of the Senate and Privileges Committee, and also other members? That would be a bit difficult. Right. It seems to me that the course of action that would be easier to pursue for Senator Akpabio Udwa would seem to be to take the matter itself to court and to insist that her fundamental human rights have been breached, that she did not receive fair hearing, and it's clearly within the powers of the court to say that nobody can be treated unfairly, you know, whatever the matter may be at all. Right. Maybe if she pursues that line, she may get the relief that she's seeking from the court of law.
Thank you for your submission. Pro bono, Dr. Patti. Pro bono. No, he said you have to charge him. Go ahead, quickly, please.
So, a couple of things, please. In the spirit of being fair and
balanced, yes, always.
Let me go back to my instructive word, because a lot of people, they have wool in their ear, they don't hear. I'm not saying Akpabio is guilty. All we have just called for his investigation.
As always.
As regards this process, what we have said is there should be fair hearing. It is now established because they first feigned ignorance that it was not served. But even before the judge confirmed that it was served on them, that they should stop, they should not go ahead with the hearing, the Senator Naira himself had said he had seen it, but they had gone ahead. And you remember that we did have some people prove that the legislature is more than the judiciary and everything. They can't stop the judiciary, separation of power, Montesquieu, and all of that. But now, she has gone ahead to establish a contempt case. But also in this case, there's a fresh story brewing. According to the Premium Times, that some disgruntled senators are now saying that there were some hanky-panky and they didn't see the full report before it was brought and presented to the House and submitted.
About 13 of them.
13 senators. That's a fresh story brewing. Well, so that's an addendum to the matter. Again, I repeat, for the sake of those that have wool in their ears, I'm not saying Akpabio is guilty. Right. All I'm saying is let there be fair hearing in this case.
All right, well said. All right, then we'll take another story. Ayo, this story is dear to my heart. I'd like for you to just really take a look at it. Activist and social media influencer Martins Oshe, who goes by the name Very Dark Man, has called on the Kwara State Police Command, the first PRO, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, and the Inspector General of Police, Eke Agbai, to tell Nigerians what happened to Olatunji Abdulkadiri Jimoh, a young man who mysteriously died while in detention after he was arrested for allegedly owing a Gabriel Sunday of Olam Farm in Kwara State the sum of 220,000 Naira. Well, according to Very Dark Man, the police told Olatunji's family that he committed suicide using a bandana in his prison cell. The police said Olatunji was then taken to a morgue after trying to reach his family. The family said they had tried to bail Olatunji after coming up with the money that the police claimed he owed, but the money was rejected, only to be summoned to the morgue after his body was deposited without their consent. When the family visited the morgue to recover Olatunji's body, they discovered that the body was opened up and stitched back up, raising suspicion of foul play.
Now, police are claiming that he knelt down to hang himself. How is that possible? With the way he's struggling, because all the people, like if you go to the people that have committed suicide, if you watch suicidal videos, these people usually hang themselves from up. And at the point, they start struggling and holding. Some people just give up and bend, right? But if this guy hang himself and is choking him and his leg is on the ground. It's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Now, the craziest part, to sum this all up, according to them, the cell where Olatunji was is different from this video, the cell where they claim that he hung himself. All these things under 24 hours. Or let's say under 12, 15 hours. Everything. He hung himself. They took him to the mortuary. They've already slit him open and they even stitched him. They asked, why did you slit him open? And why did you stitch him? They said it's the process of embalming. What is going on? Please, we want to know what happened to Olatunji. The family of Olatunji are asking for justice for Olatunji. And I am also asking for justice for Olatunji. To the FC, to the first PRO, Olumuyiwa Adejobi. Please, what happened to Olatunji in the Kwara State Police Command? What happened to Olatunji? The IG of police, you've gone there. Please tell your boys to tell us what happened to Olatunji. Because this can happen to anyone. This can happen to Olatunji in a police station. It can happen to anyone. And nothing will happen. Please, Nigerian police, what happened to Olatunji? Please tell us. We want to know because this is scary.
I mean, we have seen a lot of stories from very dark men, but this one, I spoke with our political editor, Christian Ogodo in Abuja, and he said he has, reached out to the force PRO to find out if this story is actually true, and they did confirm that this young man died in prison, and there's still an investigation. But how sad is this story? And this can happen to anyone. Really dies. Just one day he spent about a day in prison and he hung himself. What really happened there? We really want to know.
I'm so glad that this story has come to light again.
Yes.
And we mustn't allow it to die because we have innocent people who are either incarcerated or held in custody without fair trial, and because one person who has some form of influence is sponsoring it. I believe that the police has a right, or they have a duty to Nigerians to explain what really happened to Mr. Olatunji. His family members, I can't imagine the states they're in. I can't imagine the people he's left behind. There are a number of things that should already pique your interest. One day in prison over the level of the allegation, which is 20,000 naira. What is 20,000 naira in the grand scheme of things? That would cause, or 200, that would cause, even if it were 500,000 naira, that would cause a man to commit suicide in 24 hours, especially whilst the investigation is going on. We don't want this to be another case that's being swept under the carpet. There's another one that's happening as well. And it happens in not just Kwara State, it happens in many states across the country. Bigger than this case, because I always believe that we can use an incident to trigger a change or policy direction in the nation. The police needs to go through their internal processes so that people in Nigeria have fair hearing, especially the poor and vulnerable. It's like double jeopardy for many Nigerians who are poor and who do not have access to powers that be. So please, we are calling on the IG of police to please investigate this matter. Nigerians deserve to know the truth as to what really happened to this young man.
Well said, Ayo. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Take another story now. The newly appointed Accountant General of the Federation, Shamsaluddin Ogujimi, assumed office on Monday and was welcomed by a crowd of supporters in Abuja. Well, in this video that has now made the rounds on social media, the new AGF could be seen appreciating the crowd of supporters and expressing excitement like he just won an election. Let's take a look. Dr. Vati, what is happening here? Really quickly. Yes. Yeah, he's 57 years old.
Was appointed after Mr. Madden, the Accountant General, retired. And we were told, in the statement issued by Mr. Bayo Nonuga, that he went through very rigorous selection process. He wrote an exam, a proficiency test, you know, and then he faced a panel of interviewers and all of that. So the statement that was issued 7th March, I think, by the presidency was that this man was selected on the basis of merit. Right. However, all this thing about waving at people, you know, we're in a political season, everybody has become some closet politician. Maybe he's preparing to also run for office after he retires 3 years' time, when he will be 60. But in any case, what we expect from him is to focus on his assignment.
Absolutely.
As the Accountant General of the Federation.
Absolutely.
Not to go there and play politics. Because if he takes this kind of attitude, waving at people and all of that, in that position, we will also have another crisis with regard to that office.
Absolutely.
He should focus on the job and stop, you know, waving to people up and down. Let him sit down and do the job.
President AGF. Well, all right. I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on what's trending. You guys have a great weekend.
This is how you be saying.
Well, that's all I have for you guys on what's trending today. I'll see you all next week.